Is this the end of Blitz? Is it really the end of WOT Blitz as we know it? This is a question that's been posed multiple times ever since the teaser trailer for the Reforged update has been released by Wargaming. I mean, the like to dislike ratio on that video is absolutely insane. 60% or just over 60% of the like and dislike is actually dislikes. There is over 20,000 dislikes on that video. It's unbelievable. And that goes to show you the negative impact that this teaser trailer has had on the community. But the ultimate question that everyone keeps asking, is this going to be the end of Blitz as we know it? Is this going to kill the game? Personally, I don't think so. I mean, Moodsy made a video where he said, is this the end of Blitz, basically, what he said. And I think, personally, I don't agree with the whole premise of, oh, this is going to kill the game if this update comes out. If this update comes out, I'm going to leave the game, I'm going to quit. Cool. No problem, bro. Because there's still plenty of things to like about this update. What I'm showing you right now on the screen is, of course, Flossie. Good old Flossie. If you don't know him, we haven't checked out his channel, go subscribe. Good guy. He's a friend of mine. And, yeah, he's awesome. Gotta love him. He's showing you right now the books. Now, these are crew skill books, crew XP books, basically. These are what you need in order to basically level up your commanders in the game. Now, it is a bit confusing, okay? You're going to have to purchase these books manually, and at the start of this video, Flossie he actually spent about 35 minutes converting all of his crew XP into these books so he can level up all his commanders. Just so you know, in the official update, when it's released, you're not going to have to do that. It's going to be all automatic. All the CCs and everyone and all the ultra testers and the super testers that have gone onto the test server and done this have complained to Wargaming. They have said this is absolutely tedious. It's very time consuming. Please fix this issue, and I assure you Wargaming is going to fix it. They understand that it's really tedious, and they said it's just going to be for this test, so it should be all good. Anyway, my point being, is this going to ruin the game? Personally, I don't really think it is. I don't think this is going to kill the game. I don't think it's going to kill Blitz at all. And I think, typically speaking, like, for example, like we got Duncan here, right? Duncan, Olivia Vasquez, right? Kai, all these commanders, Lisa, Diaby, all these commanders, right? I think we can live with them. I think at first people were saying, oh, this is bullshit. They look like Fortnite commanders, blah, 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 blah. You know what? At the end of the day, you're just going to have to accept it. Wargaming is not going to change the designs of these commanders. What they will do is possibly in the future introduce new commanders that you can grind in events and whatnot for free, because they're insisting that they're free and they're never going to be sold. But Bushka said it best on his stream the other day. He basically said, I believe Wargaming is going to sell these commanders. They're going to sell them just like they did with spare parts. They insisted that spare parts was going to be a currency that you need, and you'll just grind it for free and you'll be able to get it so you can unlock your equipment and get past timers, right? And they ended up selling them, remember? And those of you who haven't played in update 3.8 and up to 3.10, then you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But for those veteran players that have, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. They promised they wouldn't sell spare parts, and they ended up selling spare parts. They promised they wouldn't sell crates, and they ended up selling crates. Look what's happening now. They promised they're not going to sell commanders. Can I just mention also, by the way, Olivia Vasquez, what was going through their heads when they thought this was an appropriate character for a commander? Yes, this looks like a tank commander. I'm just going to put it out there, a lot of the weebs are going to absolutely love Olivia Vasquez. Let's face it. Everyone's asking, are we going to get anime characters? Are we going to get, all these anime girls that are going to be coming in? I mean, I don't doubt it. We've had freaking VTuber events and whatnot. I guarantee you that's going to happen, where you have like a VTuber style anime girl or the Tiger anime girl. I'm sure GrandMcLegend would absolutely love to see a Tiger anime girl pop up as a commander. Anyway, my point is, yes, these commanders look like crap. They sound like crap as well. Wargaming, please give us the option to freaking toggle on and off the commander crew voices so we can only hear our crews talking and not those commanders, because God above are they cringy as hell to listen to. Especially Olivia Vasquez. Oh, we penned them. Oh, it's like, bro, just shut the flip up. For God's sake. So commanders were a big issue, I think, with the community, and they were addressing it and saying, like, this is ridiculous. Just so you know, pretty much every single one of these commanders that had broken statistics and broken perks have been nerfed. Everything's been nerfed. Apart from, for some odd reason, the Tank Destroyer commander, who was buffed for some odd reason. I don't know why, because Tank Destroyers need more of an advantage than they already have. Lisa Diaby, the Tank Destroyer, apparently she's been buffed. I don't know why, but she's been buffed. But everyone else is fine. Anyway, so that's the commanders. That was one of the biggest issues that people had with the release of the teaser trailer. I think now Wargaming have addressed some of the issues. They've nerfed the overpowered ones. They're not going to change the design of them. They're going to stick with them. At the end of the day, look, you're not going to see them on the battlefield. They're just going to be in your garage. You can listen to them. That's about it. I think we just have to accept the fact that they're not going to change the designs, but they might introduce designs later on down the path and do collaborations with pretty interesting people, like, for instance, Jason Statham, for instance, or Arnold Schwarzenegger. They did it with WOT PC. I guarantee you they're going to do it for WOT Blitz as well. So that's the commanders. This is one of the ones that people had issues with, and I guess they didn't really enjoy. And then, of course, we're talking about everything else that is sort of introduced that's behind a paywall. And I spoke about this the other day in my video. Yesterday actually, I said that these are going to be all the sets that we're going to see. Again, video is courtesy of Flossie. I hope you don't mind that I'm using your video for this. These are all the sets, right? These are all the tank sets. And I said it before and I will say it again. I personally don't mind the sets, but I feel like it's just going to confuse people even more. Not just new players, but old players as well. Like, what was the problem? What was the issue that we had with tech trees? We didn't have any issues with them. We had zero issues with tech trees. Personally, it was very simple. You had a look, there was a T1 tank, a T2, a T3, maybe 2 or 3 T4s. Then you moved to T5 and there was, quite a few selection of tanks that you can go up. And then from that, they branch out into other medium tanks and light tanks and heavy tanks and tank destroyers. And it was easy to follow. Yes, there were some tech trees that didn't kind of make sense, mainly the 183 line. But other than that, tech trees were perfectly fine. I mean, look at World of Tanks PC. They've had a tech tree ever since 2010 on its inception, or from its inception, I should probably say. When I played that game ages ago, before I played Blitz in 2014, there was tech trees back then. When I played Blitz in 2014, there was a tech tree back then. No one had any issues. It was quite easy to follow. I don't understand what Wargaming's logic was by deciding to create sets. Now, I know there's CCs out there and there's, ultra testers out there. They're going to say, oh, yeah, but the sets are really good. Just play it. Play the test. You'll understand. You'll get it. It's going to be cool. Yeah, visually, it's awesome. It's cool. I like the fact that all certain tanks are in certain sets because they share characteristics or they share certain things. There are some tanks that are in the sets that do not fit. Like that, I don't understand why they are even in the sets in the first place. Like, for instance, the Project Kampfpanzer 07, the mystery box tank. That's with the Type 71. Why is it with the Type 71? Is it because it can go hull down and is sort of a similar playstyle to the Type 71? Yeah, but it's a completely different tank to the Type 71. It's not a Japanese tank. It's a German tank. It should be, for instance, with the Kampfpanzer 70. But it isn't. What about the STG? The STG, for some odd reason, which is a Tier 8 Soviet returreted medium tank, is with the Chinese light tanks. Why is that? It doesn't make any sense. So again, they need to fix a lot of things with the sets. They need to rebalance it. They need to restructure the sets to make it make sense. Now, that's, for example, like the FV215B183 is no longer with the Tortoise. It is now with the Conway, the FV4005. It is with the Challenger, the Charioteer. So it makes sense. That is part of a set that makes sense. But the problem that we have is people are going to be like the Defenders one, right? The Defenders core. That's all the Defender tanks. Okay? Don't forget as well, by the way, I'm going to pause the video here. Do you see up there where it says move slow, fire fast? Remember when I was talking about keys yesterday and how you're going to need them in order to unlock the set so you can grind? Well, that's another problem. That's another issue that people were having with the update, is why the hell did Wargaming introduce sets, keys? I can give you a very good explanation as to why they introduced keys. They introduced keys so they can make it harder for newer players to grind multiple sets at once. Now, I know Droodles was saying that, well, what if we wanted to grind multiple, sets at once? You can do that. You can still do that, but it's going to be more difficult than what most people think, right? And that's the point I was trying to make, is that it's going to be difficult whether we like it or not. And I understand where Wargaming is coming from. They want to try and make it more difficult so that newer players can learn the game a bit better. But then they introduce something that is really silly. In some aspects it works, and I can understand for a veteran player, but for a newer player, why would you give them the opportunity of grinding the entire set, right? Or like the top tier tank in the set by playing a lower tier tank as much as they want. If they just want to play that tank, they'll get enough XP, hopefully, eventually. Like, they're limiting it by limiting how much you actually get. It's going to take a lot longer if you play with like a tier, a tier 7, a tier 5 tank compared to a tier 6 tank, right? Tier 5 meaning tier 8 and tier 6 meaning tier 9. I know it's going to be very confusing to a lot of people. It's going to be very confusing with the tiers and whatnot. It's going to be so confusing because tier 10s are now tier 7s. It doesn't make any sense. I know. It's confusing. But that's just how it is. Like, look at this. This is the Raising Phalanx. You can see the Jagdpanther 2. Remember when I said buy the Jagdpanther 2? This is why. Because in this set, the Jagdpanther 2 is the top dog. It is the top tier tank in this set. Which means if you don't buy the Panther 2, and let's say you have the Jagdpanther instead, well, you're only going to have the Jagdpanther. You're not going to have the Jagdpanther 2. So just be wary of that. You need to buy the tanks that you'll see in the set. That's why the test is very important, because it will show you what tanks are going to be top tier in every single set. So just be wary of that. So yes, in order to grind in that set, you need to spend keys. And how do you obtain keys? Well, you obtain keys by increasing your player rating, or rather your player level. And you do that by grinding, by playing, right? If you're a veteran player, you're going to automatically, move up that line pretty quickly. And you'll be able to get keys every single time you level up, okay? Which is cool, which is good. Wargaming have kept their word in saying that, yes, keys are going to be free. What they failed to mention in the stream is that there is a paid option. And this is what I'm talking about. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, that you have to buy keys in order to grind. If you've basically run out of keys and you want to grind multiple sets, you have to buy them. And look, it's for gold. You have to spend gold to buy them. It's ridiculous. To buy 50 keys, you need to spend 37,500 gold. That's insane. 50 keys will only unlock you a total of about, not even 5 sets. They might unlock you 4 sets, realistically speaking. It's insane. It's crazy. And then we have this stupid thing here called still. Like I said, if it's supposed to be free, as Wargaming are claiming, why is there a paid option? There shouldn't have to be a paid option. And then there was some testers that were saying, I'm not going to mention names, but there were some testers that were saying, it's kind of like when you have gold and you choose to convert it into free XP. That's kind of the same thing. And I said, well, hold on a second. Who in their right mind is using their gold that they spent money on to convert to free XP that you can get by literally just playing the freaking game? You can get it by just playing the game and by having XP boosters and playing your tier 8 premium or collector tanks. You don't need to spend gold and then use your gold to convert to free XP. That's like the worst possible return on investment ever. And these guys are like, oh yeah, but I use it for, I've been using it for ages. I just free XP all the lines. I don't even bother grinding. Well, that's your problem. People that actually want to play the game actually want to grind the tanks. They don't want to spend their hard-earned gold on free XP. That's just stupid. So, there shouldn't be... My point I'm trying to make is Wargaming insisted that the keys are going to be free. There is a free option, but there's also a paid option. There shouldn't have to be a paid option. That's my point. And then we have people who were crapping on Droodles for saying that he's spreading misinformation and he's trying to rage bait and all this kind of stuff. And clickbait. And look, you may not like Drill. Say what you want about him. You may not like him. You may not like his opinions. You may not like some things that he says and some things that he does. Driddles is a friend of mine. Okay, we speak often. Okay, if I don't like something that he said, I'm going to tell him, I don't like what you said. And I've done that in the past, and he knows that. He knows that. He knows that I will shit on him if he chooses to say something that I don't like, or if I disagree with him, because that's what friends do. Friends don't keep their mouth shut and just accept everything. No, they tell them, hey bro, listen, I didn't like what you said there. Maybe change the tone a bit, maybe say something, maybe it should be like this rather than this. But when it comes to the information on the test server and everything else that's coming out in this update, everything he has said is true. It's not misinformation. This is what Wargaming themselves has said. This is what's been shown. This is what's been leaked. It's true. And yet for some reason, he still gets shit on. Okay? Like I said, whether you like it or not, whether you like Droodles or not, what he has been posting about this update is true. Now, albeit there have been one video, I will say, that may have been untrue, which is the 80,000 members that have left the Wotb server. I'll be honest with you, I was the one that sent him those screenshots, mainly because I was just as shocked as he was. And I was like, hold on a second, could this be that 80,000 members literally left the Wotb server because of the update? And I was keeping track of the member count, and it was rapidly decreasing. And then I asked people in the server, I'm like, dude, is it just me, or is the server just like losing members? And they're like, hey, what do you call that? One of the moderators was like, oh, maybe it's because it was maybe Discord purged a bunch of inactive members. I'm like, surely that's not going to happen. Anyway, I didn't. We sort of just joked around that we might make a video on it, and he actually did. But he did since he has since removed it because Tolion has confirmed with Droodles that it was in fact just a purge. So you don't have to worry. He admitted he was wrong, and I admit I was wrong too. So we got that sorted. But my point is, it's wrong to just assume that he's just trying to make up information or just mislead people, because it's not really happening. Like I said, you don't have to agree with what he says, but like at the end of the day, he's literally sticking up for what he believes is right and what he believes the community wants. Like, he's basically saying the same thing I've been saying, and I don't take crap from people. I say it as it is, and he knows it. I say it as it is, and I say, yes, I agree with what he has to say. By the way, this footage is courtesy of WOT Blitz. Look, at the end of the day, I personally don't think Blitz is going to be killed off. It's not going to end Blitz. It's not going to kill the game. But for God's sake, it's going to lose a lot of people if Wargaming don't listen to our feedback. When we tell them we don't want steals, which is another freaking currency for God's sake, so we can buy consumables. When we tell Wargaming we don't want steals, we don't want keys that we can purchase, we just want them to be free, right? We don't want provisions to be removed from the game, bring them back because they said, they give you an unfair advantage in the game. When literally every person is running provisions on their take. It's just absolute bullshit. You can't make that stuff up and say, yeah, that's fine. Apparently they're bringing provisions back. Cool. Apparently stats are not going to get removed. Cool, but it only means that you only be able to see your stats in ranked. I have no issues with that. I am completely fine with statistics still being in the game and you're only able to see them in ranked battles. I am completely fine with that. That's fine with me. Some other people might not like it. I am fine with it. People seem to think that I am completely against this update. I'm not. I am not against this update. I am against certain changes that are being made, stuff that we never asked for. We didn't ask for text tree changes. We didn't ask for... Oh, by the way, training rooms, you need 2 people to be in it. You can't be a single person. You need 2 people. Isn't that great? So for those people that want to make thumbnails and whatnot, like we do, we have to be in a training room with someone else. Awesome. Great work, Wargaming. Didn't have to have 2 people in there. Could just be 1 person. Anyway, point I'm trying to make is to end this video. The reforged update has been released. I am gonna be taking part in it. You're gonna be seeing me streaming, hopefully every single day. I'm gonna try to do it every night. I'm gonna be uploading as many videos as I possibly can on this update. I'm gonna showcase various things on the maps, and just break down everything so you guys have a better idea. My final thoughts, as I said, I like a lot of things. I like the fact that the graphics are changed. I like the fact that all the tanks have PBR. I like the fact that the maps have been reworked and they look so much better now. I like the physics. I like the sounds of all the sort of terrain and all the details in when you destroy, trees and whatnot, and when you hit a building and snow falls down and that kind of stuff. I like that kind of thing, right? It's cool. I don't even mind the new UI inside the game. I think it's quite nice. It's a nice updated version of it, and it looks nice and modern, right? I do like the old school stuff, but you know what? I'm willing to accept it. I'm willing to even accept sets. As much as I don't like them and like the idea of them, I am willing to accept them that they're going to be in the game. But what I'm not willing to accept is that keys are going to be behind a paywall as well as being free. They should just be free. End of story. Okay, they shouldn't have to have steel currency, which is a new confusing currency for consumables. Just have credits, as you normally would. The fact that now we have infinite amount of premium, standard and HE ammunition is good in some aspects, but a bit annoying in that. It's going to get some time to get used to. And commanders, I can live with commanders, but for the love of God, Wargaming, just you could have given them a better design and a better voice actor. But other than that, I'm fine with it. Oh, by the way, skill-based matchmaking is going to make a return. That's going to be great, isn't it? Skill-based matchmaking, making a return to Blitz. How fun is that? I'm going to have so much fun with that, as I'm sure most people will. That's another big thing that people were talking about. Anyways, I'm going to end it there. I've been babbling on enough. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this topic and whether you think Blitz is actually going to end after this update is going. I think people have overreacted a little bit, to be honest with you, but at the same time, they are justified in what they said and the things that they've been coming up with. I'm just hoping Wargaming listens to our feedback from this update and doesn't just listen to its CCs. The CCs are one thing and the testers are another thing. The player base are the main consumers of this game. If you listen to them, your game will be great. If you don't listen to us, it's going to be fucked. Excuse the language, but it's true. Alright, I'm out, guys. Look after yourselves. Look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East. And stay safe on the battlefield. To all my donators out there and my channel members, thank you so much for all your support over the years. Well, not over the years, but... Well, some of you over the years, actually. But over the months. It's been awesome. All the people that donate on my streams, thank you so much. And yeah, love you all. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my brothers and sisters out there who are Muslim and anyone who isn't Muslim. Peace, much love, and see you later.